Join with us, rising in body or spirit, to sing Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Once more. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Good morning. Welcome to our Sunday service. Whether you are with us on Zoom or here in person, we're glad you're here. I'm Andy Cramer, one of your worship associates this morning. Both Reverend Lucy and Reverend Roger are traveling today, so who knows what's going to happen. The worship associates are offering today's service on the topic of joy. I'm joined by Don Huebner, Celia Buckley, Jenni Gouine, and Karen Sparrow. And along with this joyful team, we have our music director, Anthony Tavianini, and pianist, Irina Tchantceva. We have guest musicians, Jen Campbell on violin, and singers Barbara Dace, Bess Caswell, Maria Espinoza Castro, and Tara Benavides. Thank you for joining us. If you are new to UUSS, we extend a special welcome. We are glad that you're with us today. Please fill out a newcomer's card, either using the link on our website or at the welcome table after the service so that we can connect with you. If you'd like to follow the order of service, a printed copy is on the table in the back by the doors or on the Zoom link in the chat. The blue sheet, weekly calendar of activities, is also on the back table and also online in the chat. In the summer, our bi-weekly message comes via email every other Friday during the summer. You can find it on our website and subscribe to it there. It has news and announcements of events, invitations to volunteer opportunities, and the minister's message. We invite you to explore the ways we live out our mission, which says we come together to deepen our lives and be a force for healing in the world. I'd like to highlight a few of the upcoming activities that are listed on the blue sheet. Today, after the service, our member, Maria Zorba, will offer a lecture on Taoism and Confucianism in art and architecture. Join her in the Foz room at noon. All are welcome and snacks are provided, but bring your coffee from the patio. This Tuesday, Reverend Roger will offer the second Tuesday forum on the topic of a Christian heresy 200 years old, radical origins of the American Unitarian Association. That will be at 7 p.m. on Tuesday in the library and online. And this Friday, we'll have a family dinner potluck at 5:30 p.m. All are welcome. Today, after the service on Zoom, we'll have 22 minutes of conversation in smaller breakout rooms for those at home. Here on campus, you can check out the connections table in the welcome hall and enjoy refreshments and conversation on the patio. Now, if you would please, check your cell phone to ensure it's on silent mode and that all alarms are off. We do this so that everyone can be more present and mindful in the service. I'll even check with the worship associates, turn off their cell phones. All right. If someone near you needs assistance with their phone, please offer it. During the music for centering, you are invited to step up to the table over here and fill out a prayer card so that we can include your thoughts in the pastoral prayer, or if you just want to let the minister know of your news. Whether or not you write a card, you may now come forward to light a candle of joy, sorrow, concern, or gratitude. And now, our music for centering.
Thank you for that wonderful, joyous song. Good morning, I'm Karen Sparrow, and we are about to enter our sacred space and light our chalice. Our chalice lighter today is Jenni. The words are by the Reverend Dr. Julia Corbett Heemeyer, A Chalice of Joy. We light this chalice in celebration of joy, the flickering flame of a candle, a flame that shimmers, that dances, that cheers, the flame that heartens and encourages us in hard times, the welcoming flame of our community.
With the flame lit for our sacred space, we would like to invite all those involved in RE to make their way out to the welcome hall, where you will continue your service in exploration of your topic today with Crystal. And by all means, please help us in singing your song. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes. Don't you despair. Look up ahead. The path is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other one. One foot, lead with love. One foot in front of the other one. One foot, lead with love.
Next, we light our candle of compassion and resistance. In these times of disruption and anxiety, when cruelty is on display in our country, this flame is a reminder to bear witness to human decency, dignity, and freedom. By this light, let us remember that fear is outrun by hope, and that hatred is no match for the power of love. In the days to come, may this flame light our way forward with courage and with hope. Blessed be, and amen.
Ours is a welcoming community where we find connection, a spiritual community where we find meaning, a loving community that makes space for its joys and sorrows. With that in mind, I share some of the joys and sorrows from our gathered community. Sarah Huebner says she is saddened at the loss of so many children due to flooding at Camp Mystic in Texas. Dismayed, shocked, and horrified at the opening of concentration camps for immigrants and feeling helpless. Annette Emery shares, I had a bad Tuesday. I had a biopsy for spots on my face and was then rear-ended. The car will be fixed, and I am fine. Gloria Storr says, keeping my sister friend in our hearts after her heart surgery. From Alan Mann, speedy recovery of Reverend Kevin Mann's mother, Edna, from mastectomy. Michael P. says, all healing energy and prayers to the universe for two long-term friends suffering difficult diagnoses. From Marianne Bernard, Friday is the 15th anniversary of the death of my husband, Professor Philip Frickberg of UC Berkeley, referred to as St. Philip of Friday, one of his co-authors and the reason I am a UU. And Lisa Woodard says, remembering the anniversary of the death of my father. Our prayer today is by A.J. Van Tyne, called When Everything Crumbles to Dust. Great mystery which grounds and surrounds us, small spark of life and possibility that lives within us, even when all else is crumbling to dust, be with us in our confusion, fear, and despair. Lead us to navigate them as slowly as possible, resisting the impulse to soothe,
to blame, to seek things that feel better than the hurt and heaviness, but ultimately leave us isolated or complacent, or too suspicious of each other. Let us not flee from our grief, but allow our hearts to be broken open again and again, grieving for all that has been lost and all that is threatened now. Spirit of life and love and regeneration, help us to feel the wisdom of our bodies. Even with so much going wrong, our hearts beat with gratitude for blessings, for beauty and joy stubbornly breaking through, for the compassionate companionship of a community that welcomes all that we bring with us and does not ask us to be smaller than we really are, for solidarity and mutual aid, for the trees and the wind and the stars, their cosmic witness soothing our animal souls, reminding us of the deep impermanence and the deep interconnectedness of all things. Spirit of transformation, may our hearts break open and stretch out to join with the hearts of others who yearn for a freer world. Each heart a building block of a better society. Each life lived for hope and resistance, a prayer for a nobler world. Amen, and blessed be. And now I invite you into a time of meditation. Sit comfortably with your feet on the ground. Find the right angle for your bottom. Adjust your spine. Relax your shoulders. Close your eyes or rest your gaze. Breathe in and out at whatever pace is right for you. And then smile. Raise your forehead slightly. Lightly pull up the corners of your mouth. Breathe as you let yourself know that you are smiling. Hold your face in this gentle smile until the smile turns into a memory. Notice who or what or where comes to mind. Let your attention linger on that person, that place, that thing. If you get distracted, bring your attention back, not to the memory, but to your face. Lift your eyebrows. Curl your mouth. Hold the gentle smile or expand it into a more pronounced one. Let your face guide you to a place of lightness and energy and joy. And when you are ready, with your eyes still closed, relax your face into a more neutral position. Keep breathing and gently move your upper body and your lower body. Allow your eyes to open and join us in singing.
I've got peace like a river.
Good morning. So there's a slight change to the order of service. I was going to read from Ross Gay's excellent 2019 essay collection, but I decided to write my own reflection instead. But I still encourage you to seek out that book. It's excellent. So I struggled to write this reflection on joy. I can easily pinpoint and describe moments of satisfaction, gratitude, and delight. I feel satisfaction at work when I extrapolate data from a challenging financial system and then present it clearly to the faculty that I work with. With gratitude, every evening I have a ritual to express thanks to my ancestors for their guidance and protection. And delight is a welcome and constant visitor when I see an egret in Puda Creek, or a hawk atop a light pole, or a mourning dove customer at our backyard bird bath. But joy encompasses and goes beyond satisfaction, gratitude, and delight, doesn't it? Until I sat down to write this, I, for myself, defined joy as engulfment in a bright and shining, bold, carefree happiness. Because joy is big and joy is rare. So when was the last time that I felt that? I struggle to find examples using my lofty definition of joy because the last 10 years have been difficult. My mother passed away in 2015, and my relationship with my father then shifted dramatically. With my mother's passing, my father and I no longer had her as a buffer to bridge the gap between us. And then a few years later, he suffered a heart attack, and a procedure to mitigate the damage of the heart attack caused a stroke. And the damage from the stroke bloomed into a diagnosis of vascular dementia. His dementia symptoms have grown steadily over the years, since then requiring ever greater caregiving and oversight. And the grind of grief mixed with feeling a duty to manage my father's situation has made engulfment in a bright and shining, bold, carefree happiness rarer still. But this need to write a reflection on joy pressed me to rethink my definition, and to my surprise, I experienced true joy this weekend. On Friday, my husband Michael and I took our 2 dogs to one of my favorite places, the Sonoma County coast. It was a last-minute decision made primarily because our neighborhood loves fireworks, and our dogs do not. So we all piled into Michael's truck and began the journey of getting out of the valley and into beautiful Sonoma County. I enjoy road trips with Michael because it's an opportunity to catch up with each other, discuss, imagine, and laugh. We were stuck in traffic for a while, so we started listening to an audiobook. And as we listened, the landscape shifted from dry valley into that delicious, dewy spread of coastal dairy farmland that feels unique to Sonoma County. We paused the audiobook to strike up our favorite road trip conversation topic. Would you live here? It's no surprise that in Sonoma County, the answer is always yes. We had intended to go straight to the beach, but the traffic outlasted our carefully packed snacks, so we headed to our favorite coastal restaurant, Fishitarian. The line was shorter than it looked, and the food came relatively quickly. We ate it fast because we were outside and the wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour were unpleasant, but the food was excellent. We got back in the truck and we were at the beach within minutes. The dogs were so excited to be at the beach. The new and different smells, the people, the crab shells, the random bits of discarded food, all of it was a dog's delight, and I love to see them happy. I had forgotten to pack a sweater for our mini poodle, so he had to be carried and held close, which is honestly his favorite mode of transportation anyway. The 4 of us sat for a while on the beach and watched the people and the other dogs pass by. The sun was bright, but not hot. The wind and waves were strong, and by the end of the day, we had walked, or been carried, about 3 windy miles together. So afterward, it was a relief to get into the calm of the truck. The dogs fell asleep quickly, and as we drove away, I felt a sense of complete peace and contentment. I looked over at Michael, and I said with a big smile, "I'm really happy right now." So I've asked myself to rethink my definition of joy, because what is joy if not really happy right now?
Thinking about what brings me joy is almost like singing. These are a few of my favorite things from The Sound of Music. Rest assured, I will not break into song. This is specifically for your comfort and my future safety. But out of the long list of the ways I find joy in my life, I'm only going to stick to two. You can thank me later. First, I like to make people laugh. I decided at a very young age, if I could make someone laugh every day, I could die a very contented person. Sometimes I have to just go for a smile. Rarely is it by telling jokes. Often it's by giving just a compliment to the person at the hardware store for the work they do and how handsome and clean their store is. They burst with joy, and that's my joy. The other day I told my neighbor how big and handsome her little puppy had become, and she stood up a little taller and was so very happy that I had noticed. That put joy in my heart. Secondly, I love to work with my hands and make something out of almost nothing. That makes me happy to my core. I love hobbies. I love collecting the tools and the materials for a hobby, and I know y'all are laughing because you're there. You understand this. I enjoy making something with the skills of that hobby. My mother taught me to sew when I was 12 years old. Ever since, I have been addicted to fabric and stitching. I even spent a few years sewing costumes for the San Diego Comic Opera. Okay, hold on, don't get too impressed. Costumes only have to look good from 50 feet away. For the last 25 years, my passion has been making quilts. Now, I don't create heirloom quilts, you know, the kind that no one can sit on and nobody can touch, and it lives its life in a dark closet. No. I make little blankets for toddlers to drag around, or to be thrown on the floor for a picnic, or to be snuggled with on the couch. I make most of my quilts by reusing fabrics, often from my friends who make those heirloom quilts. They give me their scraps. The process of designing, sewing, and quilting these blankets, mostly given to charities, fills my soul with the juice squeezed out from the creative process. That is my joy. It's one of the many ways I find peace and joy. Many of you have heard about Saturday Stitchers and Crafters here at UUSS. When I moved here in 2016, I petitioned the program council to allow me to form this group, and I was granted permission. Some who attend the meetings tell me it's a wonderful ministry. Now I have to laugh, because to me, it's a selfish group that I started when I came here to build my own community. I don't think of it as a ministry. I'm happy to feel that these people who attend think it is. I am blessed with sharing my joy for creativity and with wonderful folks who share my passion for hobbies that fuel their creative sparks. If you do not currently have a hobby that brings you joy, you can always come to me for help for that search. I can help. I invite you on the first Saturday of every month to join us at Saturday Stitchers here in the Foz Room, often in the Welcome Hall, from 10 to 1, where everyone who attends is willing and able to help you find your joy.
Generosity is a spiritual practice. This congregation has a practice of giving away half of every Sunday's offering to an organization that is working to make a difference in the world. And in July, our community partner is the Mercy Peddlers, whose volunteers reach out to hundreds of our unhoused neighbors surviving on the streets, parkways, and parking lots of the Sacramento area. On bikes and in cars, the peddlers provide water and coffee, food, personal comforts, and referrals for support services. But most of all, they offer kindness and respect. UUSS has its own volunteer team who support our nearby neighborhoods. You can meet a Mercy Peddler any Sunday outside the front door, or today on a table, at a table on the patio. Thank you for your generosity to UUSS and our community partner. This morning's offering will now be given and received. As the ushers bring forward the offering, please join me. May generosity bless our world, and may gratitude nourish our spirits.
My reflection on joy. Sourdough bread, cut thick, lightly toasted, slathered in butter. That first bite. A road trip nearing the beach, rolling down the car window, the tang of sea air. 2-year-old Malcolm, my family of choice grandson, his eyes lighting up when he sees me, hugging him tight, the first time he squeezed back. Waking up without an alarm, knowing I slept well, it's pretty rare and always delicious. Seeing Blue Boat home in the order of service, hearing that deeply familiar opening, inhaling through my nose, opening my mouth, and singing. Taking a walk I've taken 100 times and noticing something new. A birdhouse tucked high in the branches, painted stones scattered in a garden, a flag affirming love lives here. The word squishy on my Scrabble rack, and a place to put it. Feeling cool enough on a hot day, feeling warm enough on a cold day. Every stage of travel, the planning, the anticipation, the actual trip, returning home, each piece so deeply satisfying, regardless of where I've been. And speaking of travel, snorkeling, the ease of it, the weightlessness, the magic of hovering above a coral reef teeming with life, clownfish, parrotfish, blue tang, squid, all the colors, all that activity, and just watching, not disrupting, not trying to capture a picture, simply observing, being held by the water, suspended above it all. The view from my upstairs office window, oak trees, beech trees, sycamores and maples, finches, titmice, hummingbirds, squirrels, blue glass discs hanging from my window, catching the light. A new season of the Great British Baking Show. The contestants, the hosts, the judges, they're all so nice. And the sweets they create, the camera zooms in close and you can almost taste them. Pure bliss, minus the calories. And Lou, always Lou, my spouse, my lover, my helpmate, my friend. As bad as things are in our country right now, as worn out, angry, and disheartened as I feel, there is still joy. So much joy. I strive to keep myself open to it, to noticing it, appreciating it, welcoming it in.
I'm going to start my reflection today by reading you a poem written by Laura Davies Foley. I have noticed joy, how it threads below the darkness. Have you seen it too? And have you heard it, how it speaks the unspeakable, the bliss, a kind of silence, a light beneath pain? Have you noticed? It rises like fingers, and then look, it presses through. Singing has been an essential tool to express my feelings and emotions that I didn't possess the skills to express in words. I'm told I sang my first church solo around age 5 when the other kid bailed. I have no memory of that. But what I now understand is my singing gained the approval of my mother. My mother was very critical and demanding of her 3 children, and if singing garnered my mother's rare approval, I sang. I had private voice lessons beginning at age 14. I was a voice major in college for years before switching to nursing. After college, I sang with many fine choruses and then the Sacramento Master Singers for 26 years. After COVID, I joined Chanteuse, a women's vocal group here in Sacramento. But singing wasn't a source of joy. I sang because it was a necessity for my life spirit. It was also a yardstick by which I measured myself and always found myself lacking. Just as my mother had communicated that whatever I did, it wasn't good enough, I internalized that my singing was never good enough. Yet was there joy? Of course there was. The resonance and harmony created by singing together is joyful. But did I recognize joy? Sadly, the recognition of joy in real time has been elusive. I have felt many feelings while singing, a sense of accomplishment and pride of our chorus, but my feelings have been overshadowed by self-criticism. Then, in 2024, while singing in a concert with Chanteuse, I noticed I was feeling joy while I was singing. Instead of thinking, I blew that rhythm, I stumbled on those words, my tone wasn't open enough, my vibrato was too heavy, I didn't breathe in the right place, and on and on and on, I experienced joy while singing. That was unique and a memorable experience. And since that concert, paying attention and noticing joy when it is present has been my goal. This past spring, Chanteuse sang a piece called Threads of Joy, written by Dale Trombour. That piece used the poem by Laura Davies Foley that I read to you when I began. Once again, music provided me with the tools to express my feelings. I have noticed joy, how it threads below the darkness. Have you seen it too? And have you heard it, how it speaks the unspeakable, the bliss, a kind of silence, a light beneath pain? Have you noticed? Noticing joy. It's taken me almost 7 decades to be in touch with my feelings in real time, to notice how I feel and not what I think. Now I notice beauty and love and connection and all those things and more I find here at UUSS. Noticing joy has become a spiritual practice for me. So I ask you, do you notice joy?
lost long ago. I will hear their every story, take hold of my own dream, be as strong as the seas are stormy, and proud as an eagle's scream. I will ride, I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. Na 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 na
In 2022, I moved back to Sacramento. At that point, my social network was very frayed by the pandemic, the end of a relationship, multiple moves over the preceding 3 years, and winding down work as I shifted to retirement. But very fortuitously, I met Ricardo. He lived nearby, and we started walking our dogs together. Although our dogs ignored each other, we became fast friends. Our friendship has been a consistent and deep source of joy for me. I've had good friends at various points in my life, and I still keep in contact with them. But with time and distance, I don't see them often. This friendship is different. His personality is more guarded than mine, but he was also intentional and committed to building the friendship from the start. That took me by surprise and felt different in a good way. Now, 3 years later, Ricardo and I message each other multiple times per day and usually spend time together 4 or 5 days each week. We can comfortably talk endlessly about our lives or about nothing at all. Our time together often involves physical activity, walking, hiking, kayaking, or dancing, for example. He's intensely competitive and metric-driven. I'm less so, but I can't let him just win. So I'm getting more competitive too. He logs many more steps than I do, more than 3 times as many on average. But there was that memorable day when I beat him in his daily maximum step count with my own 53,666 steps. I remind him of that frequently. I usually beat him at pool, but he's improving and he keeps me on my toes. He always wins at board games and he's vicious about it. And if it isn't already obvious, we're not above being juvenile. So there's sudden challenges to do the most push-ups or some other feat. And there's always lots of laughter and inside jokes that try the patience of our mutual friends. But more importantly, there's intentionality. We respect each other and value our friendship. We appreciate that we know and accept each other for who we are. We support and cheer each other on. And we tiptoe around each other's tender spots because we care. We are mutually committed to maintaining the friendship, even with the changes that have happened over the last 3 years and that are certain to come in our lives. I'm crystal clear about the importance of his friendship in my life. My life is better and more joyful with Ricardo in it. It's more than all the fun activities. It's the joy of being fully known and appreciated. Joy should be shared. So Ricardo and I have grown a tribe of mutual friends around us. In a way, I feel like we're role models for a loving and supportive platonic friendship. But as close as some of the mutual friends are, Ricardo and I both know that our friendship is the keystone for us. I'm surprised to find that friendship is at the center of my life, but I'm joyful that it is.
Finding our joy, let us also be grateful for it. We give thanks. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. We give thanks for this precious day, for those gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
It's now time to enter the world again, and as we extinguish our chalice, let us join together in repeating these words. We extinguish this flame, but we carry the light and the love and the commitment to death into the days to come.
Today, the Lay Worship Associates have offered 5 reflections on joy. Jenni has redefined joy as being really happy right now. Karen finds joy in making people laugh and by working with her hands to make things. Dawn shared her multiple sources of joy, from taking the same walk and noticing something new to paying attention to nature. I shared that I may not notice joy when my mind is filled with critical thoughts, but joy is there waiting to be noticed. Andy wrote about finding joy in a friendship which has become the center of his life. These diverse ideas on joy are a call to you to find your own joy, which can be present in many moments of our lives, despite multiple distractions. We invite you to cultivate joy. We invite you to notice joy around you. Please join me with joy as we extend our hands and say these words. May faith in the Spirit of life.
May faith in the Spirit of life.
Hope for the community of earth.
Hope for the community of earth.
And love of the sacred in ourselves ourselves and one another.
And love of the sacred in ourselves and one another.
Be with us now and in all the days to come.
Be with us now and in all the days